Visiting these 9/11 memorials is actually quite an emotional thing for me. I was at Ground Zero on 9/11 working for Lehman Brothers back in the day, 3 World Financial Center, and right across the street was the World Trade Center. And so, I was at my desk eating my breakfast when the first plane went in, and we thought the stock market was going to open that day, and then the second plane went in. A lot of stories, a lot of terrible memories, but it's nice to see this type of thing here right next to the Tesla Science Center. So literally the Tesla Science Center is right back over there.
Breaking news right now, a raging fire at the Tesla Science Center in Shoreham.
31 engine 6, Tesla Science Center, fire, 5 Rainbow Road, open 100, 51.
First responders are working tirelessly to control the fire.
Welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Day. It's a spectacular day here in Connecticut. And, I've been doing a lot of Tesla content, and a lot of people are saying, Dave, too much Tesla content. But you know what? I don't think so. Today, we're going to be doing even more Tesla content in the beautiful Model X. But it's going to be different because we are taking a drive out to Long Island today to Nikola Tesla's, one of his original labs called Wardenclyffe. I want to do a little bit of an expose about Tesla himself, which I really didn't know that much about until I read about him, and then also Wardenclyffe and what has happened since that actual lab opened in 1901. It's a fascinating story. I hope you stick with me. Let's get into it for some different Tesla content, the history of Nikola Tesla. So when people think about Tesla, this is kind of what they think about, right? This is my brand new 2023 Model X. I've had it almost 2 weeks. I have about 300 miles on it, and it's absolutely been an amazing car to own so far. I've really, really loved it. But the history of the name Tesla and the man and the legend, the individual who invented AC. But what I want to do today is just kind of explore Tesla himself and Wardenclyffe, one of his labs, just to kind of teach a lot of people who may not realize that the name Tesla is named after a very famous Serbian inventor. And I think it's going to be an interesting adventure. Let's get into this, take a ride out with my beautiful bride, Kathy. Where is she? Are you hiding?
I'm hiding so there's no shadow.
I get you. There we go. Let's go for a ride out to Long Island and check out the story of Tesla himself and Wardenclyffe. What do you say?
Sounds great.
Kathy, it's pretty funny. As I'm about to put the destination in here for the Tesla Science Center out in Shoreham, Long Island, you know what song is on the radio here?
Yes, I know.
Foreigner, Cold as Ice. Do you have a quick story about that?
I have a story about it.
Give me
I'm
the
not
phone.
sure I should share it.
Let me film you on this one.
No, I don't think I should share it.
No, share it. Come on. What? It's an old boyfriend story.
A high school story.
All right. So I've heard this story for years and years, and how odd that the song is on the radio today. Because didn't you just mention, for some reason you just mentioned it to me the other day.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what song? First of all, it's Foreigner, Cold as Ice.
First of all, I thought this was private and not for
No, this is
public
definitely,
consumption.
this is public.
But I guess it was like 40 years ago, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So long story short, I broke up with a high school boyfriend, and a couple days later, I got a phone call. And remember, no cell phones back then, so it was on my kitchen wall in the house. Phone rings.
Wait. Just so you know, Paddington is listening to this story.
Well, I don't know that Paddington should know this
All
story.
right, go ahead. Keep going.
Anyway, he says to me, turn on, maybe it was BLI at the time, out on Long Island. And he says,
Babylon Long Island
I think
Radio.
that's what it was.
Yep.
And he said, turn on BLI at 4 o'clock. And he hangs up. So I turn on BLI at 4 o'clock, and the DJ, the announcer, says, "Hey, this song goes out to Kathy from you know who." And it was Cold as Ice.
That's beautiful.
And that has become sort of my theme song.
Yeah. So that's why I'm always nice to this woman.
That's right.
Because you never know.
There is a switch.
There is a switch
Anyway.
that she can be cold as ice.
Now, and
All
that's
right.
very rare, isn't it?
It is. All right. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and put in the, here, let me just see this right here. We're going to be going out from basically Darien, Connecticut, all the way out. Now, interesting, if we could just drive across, the Tesla Wardenclyffe Science Center is out here past Rocky Point in Shoreham. And so you can see right here, here is the Tesla Science Center. It originally was 200 acres, and I want to go there today and just kind of check this out. A lot of history there. So what's amazing is we are probably, as the crow flies, maybe 20 miles away, right, from Long Island Sound. But what we need to do is drive all the way around there. So let's go ahead and type in Tesla Science Center. There it is, Shoreham, New York. Okay, boom. And let's hit enter. And let's see how long it is calculating. All right, 45.
2 hours.
Oh, it's telling us to take the ferry. Okay,
Right.
No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do an alternate trip. Oh, wait, how do we do an alternate trip? Edit trip. Okay, we'll do...
Or does it want us to swim?
yeah.
Full
I
chilly.
don't
Full
know.
chilly outside.
How do I do an alternate? So wait, Tesla Science Center.
Here's what I would do. I would just drive out to Long Island.
There we go. Okay.
And now how long?
95 miles,
So 2 hours.
right? Yeah, 2 hours.
Okay.
Assuming no traffic,
No,
which
there's
is
always traffic.
which
It's
is
a
crazy.
beautiful Saturday.
And it says we're going to arrive there with a state of charge of 30%. We're currently at a 71% state of charge. So yeah, let's start this road trip and head out to see the Tesla Science Center.
I've always wanted to go here.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we're doing this today.
There's a bronze statue of Nikola Tesla that I want to check out, and yeah, I'm gonna talk a lot about Nikola Tesla today on our road trip out. You're gonna learn a lot, Kathy. I hope you're ready.
I always do with you.
And then also when we get out there, we're gonna really understand what this lab was all about. A lot of history there. So
Yeah, for sure.
let's get going. Nikola Tesla, born in 1856 and died January of 1943. He was from Serbia, an inventor, an electrical engineer, a mechanical engineer, and also a futurist, really best known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current electricity supply system that we know today. So he was raised in the Austrian Empire. Tesla first studied engineering and physics in the 1870s. He never really got a degree. And then he gained practical experience in the 1880s working at Continental Edison in the new electric power industry. In 1884, he emigrated to the United States, where he became a naturalized citizen. And he went to work for a short time at the Edison Machine Works in New York City before he struck out on his own. With the help of partners to finance and market his ideas, Tesla set up labs and companies in New York to develop a range of electrical and mechanical devices. His AC induction motor and related polyphase AC patents, licensed by Westinghouse Electric in 1888, earned him a considerable amount of money, and he became the cornerstone of the polyphase system, which that company eventually marketed. So basically, Tesla attempted to develop inventions he could patent and market. He conducted a range of experiments with mechanical oscillators and generators, electrical discharge tubes, and early X-ray imaging. He also built a wirelessly controlled boat, one of the first ever exhibited. Tesla became well known as an inventor and demonstrated his achievements to celebrities and wealthy patrons at his lab.
and was noted for his showmanship at public lectures. Throughout the 1890s, Tesla pursued his ideas for wireless lighting and worldwide wireless electric power distribution in his high voltage, high frequency power experiments, both in New York and Colorado Springs. In 1893, he made pronouncements on the possibility of wireless communication with his devices. Tesla tried to put these ideas to practical use in his unfinished Wardenclyffe Tower project, an intercontinental wireless communication and power transmitter, but he ran out of funding before he could complete it. After Wardenclyffe, Tesla experimented with a series of inventions in the 1910s and the 20s with varying degrees of success. Having spent most of his money, Tesla lived in a series of hotels in New York City, leaving behind many unpaid bills. He died, like I mentioned earlier, in January of '43. His work fell into relative obscurity following his death until 1960, when the General Conference of Weights and Measures named the International System of Units SI measurement of magnetic flux density the Tesla in his honor. There has been a resurgence in popular interest in Tesla since the 1990s. So super interesting life. What I just read there is directly out of Wikipedia. There's so much more to learn about with respect to Tesla. The thing that I found super interesting was sort of his later years, and a lot of the inventions that he did are just unbelievable. There's so much to unpack here with respect to Nikola Tesla. In fact, he was a consultant up at Niagara Falls in terms of how to actually power, take the power from the falls in Niagara way up in Buffalo, New York, and the Canadian border. It just was incredible. There's an interesting. There was a lab fire in his South Fifth Avenue building that housed Tesla's lab. It caught fire. It started in the basement of the building, and it was so intense that Tesla's fourth floor lab burned and collapsed into the second floor. The fire not only set back a lot of his ongoing projects, but it destroyed a collection of early notes and research material. And just recently, we saw that the fire at Wardenclyffe just happened. So fire is something that is not foreign from Tesla. But it was Wardenclyffe where Tesla made the rounds in New York trying to find investors for what he thought would be a viable system of wireless transmission, wining and dining them at the Waldorf Astoria's Palm Garden. In March of 1901, he got $150,000, which back in today's dollars is $5.2 million from JP Morgan in return for 51% of any generated wireless patents, and began planning the Wardenclyffe Tower to be built out in Shoreham, New York, on Long Island, which is 100 miles east of the city on the North Shore of Long Island, which is where we're headed to today. By 1901, Tesla had expanded his plans to build a more powerful transmitter to leap ahead of Marconi's radio-based system, which Tesla thought was a copy of his own. There's just so many interesting nuances of this this project, and so Wardenclyffe closed. After it closed, Tesla continued to write to JP Morgan after the great man died. Tesla wrote to Morgan's son Jack trying to get further funding for the project. In 1906, he opened offices at 165 Broadway in Manhattan, trying to raise further funds by developing and marketing his patents. He went on to have offices at the MetLife Tower from 1910 to 1914. As a matter of fact, I was just in there the other day for a business meeting. I didn't realize that. And he rented for a few months at the Woolworth building before moving out because he couldn't afford the rent. And then office space at 8 West 40th Street. So he was all over Manhattan. There were some interesting stories about him living in the Waldorf Astoria Hotel and not paying his bills. And he was actually a loner. He was never married. And my understanding is that his appearance, this guy, he was 6'2" and only weighed 142 pounds. He possessed photographic memory, and he could speak 8 different languages. He was a lifelong bachelor, as I mentioned. I thought it was interesting. There was a relationship. He had very high-end connections. He was a good buddy of Mark Twain's. They spent a lot of time together in his lab. But he was actually really close with pigeons, which was kind of a weird thing. He claimed that he never slept more than 2 hours a night, but he did it by dozing from time to time to, quote, recharge his batteries, right? Kind of interesting. His work and dining habits I found super interesting. He worked every day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. or a little later, with dinner exactly at 8:10 p.m. at Delmonico's restaurant and later at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. He telephoned his dinner order to the head waiter, who also could be the only one to serve him. The meal was required to be ready at 8 o'clock. He dined alone, except on rare occasions when he would give dinner to a group to meet his social obligations. And then Tesla, after dinner, resumed his work off until 3 a.m. He used to walk quite a bit for exercise. He curled his toes 100 times each foot every night, saying that it stimulated his brain cells. I better try that.
All right, so here we are on Long Island. You don't say in Long Island, you say on Long Island. This is Dix Hills. This is the visitor center, right? Built just off of the Long Island Expressway here in Dix Hills, basically exit 51. And it's a great building, it's a great facility, and it seems as though they're upgrading they have already upgraded all of the lighting here with solar, which is amazing. And I'm really liking that. Now, for many years, they've had 2 charging stations here for electric vehicles. And quite honestly, they've been a joke the whole time. This would be a perfect spot for Tesla to have superchargers right along 495, the LIE, but they haven't put them in here yet. Very interesting to me. There's a need for Tesla superchargers here. And so what do you have here? You've got these tritium stations, which I believe they've been put in by EV Connect. These units are made by tritium, and you've got CCS and CHAdeMO, 1 unit, and they put out a whopping 50 kilowatts. I mean, that is not DC fast charging, right? The whole point of having DC fast charging is to get you in and out as fast as possible. And here you have only 2 units. And I believe these units are relatively new, because I remember years ago, they had different units here. But check this out. You've got all these orange cones right here that are blocking off this entire row for what I would appear, this would be the most amazing installation for additional electric vehicle charging. And hopefully that's what's going on here. I don't really know. I'm going to go inside here and see if anybody knows and report on that. But this is a beautiful facility. They just need some more EV charging here. All right, so as we are almost approaching the Tesla Science Center, there's nothing going on here today, at least from what I understand.
You mean like an activity?
Yeah, not like, they're not doing any, it's not like we can go in for a tour, but that's okay. I just am blown away with learning as much as I did by making this video with you today in terms of the history of not only Tesla, but also this lab. And, what makes me just, it's just unbelievable to think that the way that Tesla himself, the man, I think it was 7 years before he actually died of cardiac arrest, he was hit by a cab in New York City, leaving one of his hotels to go out to go feed the pigeons in Central Park, and such a recluse. And it was, basically, it wasn't until 1960 that he became recognized because of that award that he won. And now when you think about all the accomplishments that he did, that the picture of the X-ray with his hand, he invented that, and wireless transmission of electricity, that's like ridiculously dangerous to transmit electricity wirelessly. But, to think that he built this science lab out here
living in Manhattan, commuting out here, just incredible. And I'm sort of excited to see what this facility is all about. I know a lot of it's run down.
Oh yeah.
But
there's been a lot of money raised and the grants that they've gotten.
The crowdfunding was unbelievable, with thousands of people getting together.
And I think Elon Musk's foundation gave like $1 million or so.
They did.
Now they're getting grants from New York State.
Exactly.
To renovate, update, repair the facility.
Yes. So, you know, look, I think that this science center, we're just seeing the beginnings of what it's going to become. Brookhaven National Labs is right huge. Back here, and I don't know that much about it, but but I know it's a very prestigious laboratory for whatever the heck they do there, right? I mean, I've always heard about it.
It's a large,
huge. Yeah, I mean, you can see it on the map, on the Tesla map. But yeah, next stop, we are going to the Tesla Science Center to check it out. I'm excited. You know, I think in the first week of December, they do some sort of holiday light show over here, which is not maybe like, I don't know if it's a tower lighting or a Christmas tree lighting, but it kind of reminds me of that Hallmark movie we watched last night.
The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse big
and the whole Christmas Island. Yes, I watched the Hallmark movie.
Well, you have watched a Hallmark movie.
I've watched a lot of Hallmark movies. As I'm sitting there editing with my earphones in, I'm watching Hallmark movies. But
they always have a happy ending.
They do. The script is like,
there's a script.
There's a script. But they lit up the here it is. We're here now.
Oh wow.
Okay. Now I hope we can. Are we going to be able to get in?
I hope so.
I hope so. Tesla Science Center.
Oh yeah, okay, but not
there's the bronze sculpture.
Oh yeah, hello, Nikolai.
Wow. Do you know that he was 6'2" and 145 pounds? That's super thin.
I think that is super thin.
I was born 6'3", 250. So I mean, it's like, all right, we got to find our way in there.
All right, well, not here.
Metal for Tesla. They take donations if you have metal and you're on a Long Island. Drop your metal off here.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's
try up there.
All right.
It doesn't look like an entrance, does it? Oh, we can't get in.
Oh boy.
Bummer. Gates are closed and locked. Private property. Well, that's disappointing.
All right, we're sneaking around the side, or is it the back, or is it the front?
I don't know. We're just looking for any opening.
I don't know. You remember that time we went to the top of
Auschwitzstein? Wait, what was it called? Neuschwanstein.
Auschwitzstein.
No, Neuschwanstein.
Neuschwanstein.
In Austria.
Yeah. Kyle was just there recently.
I know, but we were there at like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Look, here's the Science Center.
I know we did something terribly illegal to get to where we were.
That wasn't illegal.
I think it was.
Look at the name of this street right here. Tesla Street.
Oh, that's nice.
And we got a beautiful dog there. Oh, you see they're knocking down buildings over there. All right,
yeah, this is massive construction they're doing now.
There's a pit bull dog there.
Yeah, looking at me like I better not get out of the car.
He's like, look at that Tesla. He's like, that thing is so sweet.
Okay, well, it definitely looks a little run down.
Yeah.
Needs work.
Needs paint?
Needs paint.
Okay. That's all right. Oh, it's a shame it's they really have it blocked off. But I want to get out over here.
Here's the 9/11 memorial.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm going to get out and film a little bit there.
Yeah.
There's a piece of the building there.
And also you could get a little picture of that sign, Tesla Street. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. This is the survivor tree. In October 2001, a pear tree was discovered at ground zero, and it was severely damaged with snapped roots and burned and broken branches. And this tree has become known as the survivor tree because I guess the tree was removed from the rubble and placed in the care of the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation. After its recovery and rehabilitation, the tree was returned to ground zero in 2010. and some new and smooth limbs extended from the gnarled stumps and created a visible demarcation between the trees past and the present today. This is a sapling of one of the first 450 generation descendants of the survivor tree, and we'll proudly call this 9/11 Memorial Home. So great little dedication here. You can see these pictures of where the tree was, and then on 9/11, boy, look at that. Pretty amazing. Yeah, visiting these 9/11 memorials is actually quite an emotional thing for me. I was at Ground Zero on 9/11 working for Lehman Brothers back in the day, 3 World Financial Center, and right across the street was the World Trade Center. And so, you know, I was at my desk eating my breakfast when the first plane went in, and we thought the stock market was going to open that day, and then the second plane went in. We thought a little Piper Cub crashed into the buildings, and a lot of stories, a lot of terrible memories. But it's nice to see this type of thing here, right next to the Tesla Science Center. So literally, the Tesla Science Center is right back over there. There's the Model X, and yeah, here's the 9/11 Community Memorial. This is put together by the Rocky Point Fire Department. We will never forget. Please don't ever forget. Just look at the twisting of this beam. Solid steel. Unbelievable. Very moving. Here are the names of all the people that lost their lives collectively on 9/11/2001. What a tribute. This is beautiful. I did not know this was even here, but you can see that this is just cut into the metal. What a beautiful project this is. Just unbelievable. All these names. I know so many of these people. I'm sure many of you do as well. Just, I mean, like, for example, Joey Roberto right here lived right around the corner from me in New City. As a matter of fact, our street, Verona Court, is named after Joey. Just we will never forget. So there's a timeline here of everything that happened. Just crazy. I mean, really not good. Just not good. I love this tribute though. I did not know this was here. Anyway, let's go over to see the Tesla Science Center. Even though it's closed today, I do want to take some footage and at least hopefully I've brought some light to the fact that this is here, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the events that are happening here. I think this is an amazing place that's got a promising future for living on as a science center in honor of Nikola Tesla, which is great. And how fitting is it that this Model X, I'm so lucky to be alive today and to be able to experience things. And for those less fortunate that were just within 1,000 feet of where I worked every day that did not make it, it's just crazy. Beautiful tribute here, once again, to 9/11. Love it. So proud that the fire department did this. So you can see the property is over here. It's the fence that's around it is kind of nasty, but look at this, Tesla Street. You got to love that. And this is the famous Wardenclyffe, Nikola Tesla's laboratory, which was built in 1901 and designed by Stanford White. A lot of history here. I'm definitely going to come back another day and report when it's open. I want to go inside and see what's going on. You can see there's construction going on back in there, and there's a place, I guess a sign right over here, Tesla Science Center, to drop your metal off. You can give that number a call, and then if we zoom in here, you can see the tower there. Such history. Such history. Well, here we are on the back side of the Science Center, which is where the Tesla labs were. And, you know, let's not forget this was turned into a photo processing plant for many years. It'll be really super interesting to me to see how this all gets developed over the years, and how all the backing of the thousands and thousands of people, plus the corporate money, plus the endowments, foundations that are contributing to this, really turn this into something special. Because guess what? This is a special place as a tribute to a special man. Hopefully we've learned a lot about him today. So look, you know, as we sort of have a little bit of a disappointing, I didn't know what to expect coming out here. Now that I know where it is, I'm definitely going to be back. But you know, it's sort of an interesting dichotomy to have this beautiful Tesla Model X Plaid sitting out in front of this unit here, where at least the spirit and the energy of the name of the company, of the car company, takes its foundation from Nikola Tesla, the inventor, the amazing man. And hopefully today you've learned a lot. I, for one, learned a lot about not only Nikola Tesla himself, his journey, but also this science center here, Tesla Science Center, out here in Shoreham, New York. And it's a good feeling to be here. I hope I can translate that over to you. But anyway, thanks again for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave. We'll catch you on the next one. This is a little bit of a different video today. I don't know, let me know if you like the direction I'm going with some of these, but I, for one, had a great time sharing and learning with you. Take care now.